I feel like I'm out of control. I actually can feel in my body heaviness rising.
Yeah.
And I don't know even what to call that.
Welcome to the Healing Her podcast. Life comes at us fast, and keeping our balance can take real work. What would it look like to be emotionally and spiritually strong? Listen in as best friends Christi and Donna share stories of God's healing work in their lives. Donna is a licensed therapist, and Christi is a seasoned communicator. Together, they want to offer valuable tools and stories to help navigate the ups and downs of everyday life.
Today, we're going to talk about breathing.
Yes.
And how that can help us when our anxiety is rising. Maybe when we're experiencing a panic attack or we feel completely out of control. I don't know about you, Donna, but oftentimes I feel like I'm out of control. I actually can feel in my body heaviness rising.
Yeah.
And I don't know even what to call that.
Right.
But I feel anxiety. And I don't know if you can see me, but out there, but my hands are like at my chest.
Yeah.
And sometimes when it's really bad, I feel the anxiety up to my chin, like in my throat.
Yes. Yeah.
And what am I experiencing? What is that?
Well, it's actually probably like just your nervous system responding to whatever you're going through. And some anxiety is just super normal, right?
Okay.
Like kids on the first day of school, we can normalize that. Yeah, you're walking into kind of the unknown. You don't know how your day is going to go. You don't know your friends yet. You don't know your teachers yet, and all of those things. And so you can normalize that. But sometimes anxiety can interrupt our breathing.
Yes.
It makes our heart can palpitate. Lots of people struggle with panic attacks, which often are misinterpreted as a heart attack. Lots of people go to the ER thinking they're having a heart attack.
Okay, I saw that in a movie once.
Sure.
As good as it gets.
Okay.
And that was with
Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson and what's her name?
Diane Keaton?
Diane Keaton.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So he's having a panic attack and he goes to the emergency room more than once.
Okay.
And it isn't a heart attack, which he thinks it's going to be.
Right.
He is having a panic attack.
So that's actually pretty common, actually. And I've had panic attacks.
Okay. What does that feel like?
Okay. It feels like I can't breathe. I feel like I can't breathe. And my heart would palpitate, and honestly, my entire body would shake. And it was just, and you might break out in a sweat. Sometimes you become disoriented, even in your own chair, or walking and feel like I'm going to fall down. You can feel wobbly, off balance. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I might faint. And FYI, sometimes it helps to know the worst thing that could happen with a panic attack is generally people could pass out.
Oh.
And then people recover. Like there's not permanent damage. People don't actually have a heart attack, typically. So
Sure.
But it's so common that it's one of the things that I really like to teach people about.
Okay.
If that's one of the reasons they're coming in. If they're struggling with anxiety and they say, I've been having panic attacks. I'll say, okay, well, I want to give you some breathing tools so that you can interrupt the panic attack. And the first thing you want to do is to push your feet into the ground and ground yourself.
So what I'm going to do, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm going to actually do what she's going to tell me to do. I'm going to be in her office.
Yeah. So I would say, okay, I want you to push your feet into the ground. I want you to close your eyes. And as you push your feet into the ground, take a deep breath into your nose and out through your mouth. And remind yourself the ground is strong enough to hold me. And feel your bottom in the chair. Just notice your weight on the chair. You're bringing attention to your body. The chair is strong enough to hold me.
Am I breathing this whole time?
Breathing the entire time.
Okay, because I was kind of holding my breath and then I couldn't do that anymore.
Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then I would have somebody open their eyes and start, as they continue breathing, noticing things in the room. and naming them out loud if they can. And if not, naming them in their thoughts.
Microphone.
Yes. Monty, sunset picture, television monitor,
Camera.
right. And so
Water
you're
bottle.
interrupting the anxious thought,
Okay.
whatever it is. And often with panic attacks, and this is one of the scariest things,
Okay.
especially for somebody who they're at kind of the beginning of what's going on with me journey.
Sure.
It is so frightening because, you know, some people could have a panic attack because they have to give a speech in speech class.
Sure.
They're so scared of that.
Sure.
But there's times when it's like you have a panic. You're like, what was I even thinking about that I
Right.
would have this, that something's happening to me. And then it can just light a match and then a bonfire of what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
You know, and so it's really scary.
Yeah.
So that would be like the first thing, panic attack, pushing feet into ground, feeling your bottom on the chair, breathing, naming things in the room. You're going to shift your brain to using a different part of your brain. You're interrupting thought.
Okay. Let's talk about that a little bit.
All right.
Let's talk about how you can change what parts of your brain you're using.
Right.
I don't get that.
Well, I'm not going to have really scientific language for that, but we have, obviously, left brain, right brain, and one thing I can say is we have a prefrontal cortex. If you were to make a fist with your hand,
Okay.
and your fingers are folded over your thumb,
Okay. I can do that.
where your knuckles are, the front of that is your prefrontal cortex,
Okay.
and that is where we have thought and reason.
Okay.
But if you open up those fingers and you see your little thumb under there,
Sure.
that represents the amygdala, and that's often where trauma is stored.
Okay.
And so sometimes we call it the reptile brain. So when I could say, hey, calm down. Right? And just FYI, it never works to tell someone to calm down.
Okay.
That doesn't soothe anybody.
Okay. So number one, don't do this.
Don't do this.
Don't say
calm
hey,
down.
calm down.
So if I said that, like you're asking for them to use their reasoning brain. But if you were to be with somebody that was having a panic attack,
Right. Because that was my next question.
right, then you could say, I see that you seem upset. And would you like to hold my hand? Because connection is a fantastic way to soothe anxiety and panic.
Okay.
I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to breathe with you. In through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And literally just do it until their heart can stop racing and come to a place of calm.
Okay.
Okay, now back to my little brain.
Yeah,
Sorry,
got my
I
brain.
interrupted that. So under that, the amygdala is like the reptile brain, and it is where trauma gets stored. And so it's like, it's fear, it's it can be hurt, it can be all kinds of things, but we have to comfort that part.
Is this like where the what ifs live?
Yeah, I would say that's kind of where the what ifs live. This is where experience of emotion lives. And so a common experience would be somebody's driving down the road. They hear an ambulance.
Oh.
They start panicking and they're afraid. They feel like they can't drive anymore. And maybe they start having flashbacks about their own car accidents that they had 10 years ago.
Okay.
And so if somebody comes in with that story, like we're going to do a trauma inventory around, okay, get in touch with what you're noticing in your body when you were driving down the road.
Right.
When is an earlier time you felt that way? And we just really keep tracking it until we come to something that seems similar. Right.
So that similar thing is what's
is kind of
in
lodged in that amygdala. And so we will do more, we'll do a whole podcast on like healing trauma.
Sure.
A bigger thing. Today we really want to talk about breathing. But that's just sort of a foray, into part of what's happening is your amygdala is activated.
Sure.
And we have to come to a place of calm, create comfort, warmth, an environment in which this person is able to reset or regulate.
Right. So one of my, I would say one of my fears that lives there is, what if I'm alone?
Oh, yeah.
What if I'm alone?
Yeah.
Like all alone.
Yes.
That's scary to me.
Yes.
So if you ask me, can I hold your hand? That would help, because then I wouldn't feel alone.
Right. Right. Yeah. We are so built for connection. And the crazy thing is that we often are ashamed that we need connection, or we're ashamed that we're having a panic attack, and we want to keep it to ourselves.
Right. Well, even for me to say that, what if I'm alone? That's pretty, I don't know. That's like one of my...
It's vulnerable.
Yeah.
It's vulnerable.
That's vulnerable.
That's right. And so when we're vulnerable, we can move to a place of, oh, am I going to be accepted?
Right.
Am I going to be more alone by telling somebody that I'm afraid to be alone?
Right.
But when we're creating safe relationship,
Right.
then, if you get upset, I'm going to say, can I hold your hand?
I'm going to say yeah.
Yeah. Because we're friends.
Because we're friends.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to just do a few more breathing exercises.
Let's do that. And I'll be your...
Okay. So another
Muse.
one would be, I would have someone sit on the couch and breathe in through their nose and out through their mouth. And just notice the way the air feels coming in your nostrils. And then exit through your lips. And notice the way the breath feels exiting your lips. So again, you're shifting the focus of your thoughts. I'm noticing breath in. I'm noticing breath out. And then there's something called box breathing, where you can count. It's like, I'm going to count. I'm going to inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so literally when we are upset or dysregulated, going to your breath is saying to your body, I'm going to give you what you need right now. I know you need breath.
We need oxygen.
We need oxygen. We need to, breath is such a regulating part of our bodies.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm reminded that the Lord breathed life into Adam.
Right.
Scripture's all about the Lord's breath.
Yes.
And that it makes a difference in who we are.
Yeah.
If we're filled with the oxygen that we need.
Yes.
We can actually change our mental state.
Yes.
By breathing in oxygen.
Yeah. And there's lots of great resources. We'll put these in the show notes of just breathing in prayers.
Right.
Breathe in a verse. Breathe
Right.
out anxiety. Breathe in a verse. Breathe out anxiety. When I had PTSD, actually, you were my breaking free leader.
Right.
And you provided these spiral index cards. I still have mine.
I love that.
And then I added to them. But I would keep verses with me to interrupt my thoughts. Because my what ifs were too gigantic for me. And so I would be reminded that the Lord is with me always. The Lord is my strong tower. The righteous run into him and they are safe. Learning to call on the name of the Lord. Jesus, come. Jesus, be with me. It truly was life-changing for me to have that.
I love that.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't an instruction like make these cute little spiral bound scripture keepers for your group.
Yeah.
It was just a creative idea that I thought would be fun because we were scrappers.
Yeah, you a scrapper?
Are you a scrapper? Maybe you like some tapioca.
Yeah.
Now we're the new girl in town.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. So another one is to close your eyes and notice the sounds in the room or outside of the room and just name them in your thoughts. You can name them out loud if you want to. But often it's the air conditioner, or sometimes you can hear cars go by, or maybe your dog is walking up and down the hallway or whatever.
I could even hear my heart beating in my ears. I have the microphone on or the headphones on.
Yeah. So you notice the sounds in the room and outside the room. And then I would have somebody open their eyes and choose one object in the room to focus on.
Okay.
And then for a full 30 seconds or so, I would have them focus on one object.
Okay.
And what would it be like? Then let all of your attention be on what would it be like to touch that object.
I'm looking at Monty's drone.
Oh, good. Would it be soft or hard? Would it be bumpy or smooth? Would it be warm or cool? And just for the next few seconds, allow all of your attention to be on that object. And then I just ask, what do you notice about your thoughts right now? Do you notice anything?
I just notice I'm not trying to think about what I should ask or what I should say. I was like, my brain went to a peaceful place.
Right. This is such a simple exercise for you could be anywhere.
Right.
Don't close your eyes, if you're driving.
No, please don't do that.
But like if you're at work and you just close your office door, or you go to the bathroom, or you allowing yourself to focus on something else has such a calming effect. I learned this one at a mindfulness conference.
Okay.
And there were like 200, 300 people in the room.
All right.
And she had all of us do that. And then she said, every time I do this, for the rest of the session, it's quieter and calmer.
Wow.
It just focuses people's attention.
Right.
And it helps them settle and ground inside themselves. Yeah.
I wonder what that would look like. Now I'm thinking about, young moms.
Yeah.
Because when you're a young mother,
Yes.
everything's chaotic.
Oh, yeah.
Really. And you're always trying to get from a chaotic place to a peaceful place.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Whether that's nap time, feeding time, play time,
Diapers.
everything. You're trying to go from chaos to calm, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, if you have small children, what would this look? Could you practice this with your children? Of course, if they were of age to actually work on it. But what would that look like?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, there's 200 people in this room.
Yeah.
But what if you are a third grade teacher?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it's a great idea for teachers to start out a class a day with mindfulness.
I love that.
And and there's some things like just even holding a tennis ball. Teacher can hold a tennis ball, have everybody focus on the same thing.
Sure.
And help students' thoughts, emotions, everything focus, and then move on to the rest of the
Because if you think about 20, 30 students coming to school in the morning, I know what that was like.
Yeah.
Taking my children to school.
Right.
Or maybe, maybe they got off the bus or whatever. So you've got all of these little humans with all of these own thoughts and experiences from the morning.
Right.
Coming into your classroom, and you've got all of that competing for you saying, okay, it's time to start.
Yeah, that's right.
But that would be a wonderful exercise.
Yes. There's a number of teachers now that do bell ringers that give students something to focus on when they come into the classroom.
Right.
I think it does a similar thing.
Okay.
It's like, this is the task before we're doing something as a class, and kids can kind of get their wiggles out and then focus.
Yeah. That's so great.
Yeah.
And so you could maybe do that at home.
Yes. You could
as
totally
well.
do that at home. And I thought you were going to say, how does a young mom regulate herself?
Oh,
when
well,
there's
yeah.
a lot going
Right,
on.
right,
And I think even going towards thought and noticing, so remembering that mindfulness is paying attention to my thoughts. So if you notice this idea of, I never have it together. This person is always organized, or I should have, this is the same thing every
Beating
day. I never know,
yourself up.
I never know what we're having for lunch and blah, 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 blah. It's like, that actually doesn't help anybody.
No.
I'm going to actually just be kind to myself. Mm-hmm. And this is actually one of my favorite things when my clients will say, and then I heard your voice say, be kind to yourself. I know. I love it. That's one of the things I hope we'll have t-shirts that say,
Be kind
to yourself.
I love that.
So be kind to yourself. I am doing a really hard task by keeping this human alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I will do it in different ways than my friends might do it.
Mm-hmm.
I do it in different ways than maybe I even did it yesterday.
Right.
But I am a person worthy of love and belonging, and I'm going to be kind to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And even those words can help regulate and calm
Mm-hmm.
because it moves you to a place where you're kind of not against yourself.
Right. Right.
And making things just, I should be, you
Right.
know.
There's so much shame in that.
So much shame.
And that's not holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
Life is hard.
Life is hard.
Raising kids is hard.
It's hard. It's hard.
Being married can be hard.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Everything is hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So being kind to yourself is a good thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And understanding that you are actually for yourself.
Yes, that's right. I'm going to be on the
Instead
side of
of
myself.
Your worst enemy.
Right. I entered a poster contest probably my first year in grad school.
Okay.
And my printer didn't work very well the night before. Anyways, it looked horrible.
Okay.
And I was embarrassed.
I bet.
And there were 3 posters, and I had said to my friend Alex, I am so embarrassed, because we were students, but licensed professionals in our profession were going to be looking at the posters, and they were grading them in the contest. And I just said, I'm so embarrassed about this.
Yeah.
And he goes, you can't talk to my friend that way. And I was like,
What?
He goes, you cannot. He's like, you did what you could do. You actually showed up.
Donna Durham.
Yeah.
That makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
That is meaningful.
Yes.
That just changed something for me.
Yeah. Yes.
You can't talk to my friend like that.
Right. And that changed me.
Yes.
It made me notice.
Yeah.
Like I would, I'm so stupid. I never should have even done this. Why did I even think I should do this? This is stupid.
Oh my word.
It's like, I came in third. I got a Kindle out of it.
Woo!
But just, if you look at like Brene Brown's work or Chip Dodd's work, and they talk about shifting to humility, like the gift side of shame is actually humility, and going, yeah, I'm just a person. This poster actually doesn't define me.
Correct.
It's just the best that I could do for right now.
Right.
And I'm going to let myself not give it too much power.
Right.
Which we could do a whole episode on that.
Well, we should.
Yeah.
We actually should do that.
I want to do 2 more things.
Okay.
That are also, they're kind of connected. I typically do these 2 together.
Okay.
So I have people, we could do 3. I'm going to do this. It'll be 3 parts. Mm-hmm. We're going to do it.
Okay.
First, we're going to do body scan. Then we're going to do favorite weather. And then we're going to go to safe place.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So with body scan, I say let's take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And starting at the top of your head, I want you to notice any tension, any words in my head that you don't need right now. And on your next breath, imagine that you're blowing away that tension and blowing away that those words you don't need right now. Just like you would blow away a dandelion. Good job. Good job.
Got them all off.
Exactly. Got them all off. And then allow your attention to float down to your shoulders. Bring your shoulders up towards your ears. And on your exhale, release your shoulders. And again. Then allow your attention to float down your back. Noticing any tension in your shoulder blades. Bringing relaxation to your shoulder blades. Noticing your lower back. Bringing relaxation to your lower back. Noticing the feeling of your bottom on the couch, your bottom on the chair. The couch is strong enough to hold me. Pushing your feet into the floor, reminding yourself that the floor is strong enough to hold you. Making two fists and bringing your fist up towards your shoulders and squeezing your torso. And on your exhale, shake out your fist. And now, what do you notice in your body?
That just feels sort of fuzzy.
Mm-hmm. So more relaxed,
Yeah.
more embodied, maybe
Yeah.
grounded.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's great. That's why we do it. Go to your body.
It feels like I'm like a stuffed animal.
Okay.
In a
I
good
love
way.
it. Yeah.
In a good way.
Good. Okay. So I'm going to have you close your eyes again and notice that you're walking on a path. And as you're walking on this path, you realize, this is my favorite type of weather. And then just report back to me, what is your favorite kind of weather?
Well, I think it's this week in Pella, Iowa. Mm-hmm. It's been cooler, no humidity, with a warm sun and a slight cool breeze.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's nothing still about it. It just feels comfortable and alive.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So just stay there.
Okay.
So for a few seconds, I want you to bask in that. Enjoy that breeze. Notice the sunshine. Feel the sun in your skin. And then where are you? Is it a field? Is it a forest? Is it near a lake?
It's like a meadow with little white flowers.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And there's a path that
Okay.
I'm on,
Yeah.
kind of by it. But there are trees kind of around the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like a safe place, and it feels protected.
Good, good. So I would just invite somebody to stay here for 30 seconds, for a minute. And then a tool they can take with them is set your phone for 1 minute and allow yourself in the middle of any part of your day to go to this place of your favorite weather and just let yourself be there. And then we'll say, now I want you to keep walking.
Okay.
And as you keep walking, you notice this path is taking you to the place where you feel safest in the world. It can be real or it can be imaginary. Sometimes it's a cabin they've actually gone to. Often it's a childhood home or a grandparent's home, a place of beauty. And then I'll just say, what part of the house are you in? You in a porch? You in, and they'll just, and so then I just invite them to just be there.
Linger.
Bask in that safety. And then I'll also say, would you like to bring in a comforting presence? Somebody that you feel loved by.
You know, what's really interesting is when I was doing that, Jeff came into the picture.
Oh, yeah.
He's my person.
He's your person.
He is my person.
That's right. That's right.
And he was smiling.
Oh, I love it.
I know.
Yeah.
That's so neat.
It is. And you could, sometimes people bring in Jesus. Sometimes people bring in a childhood pet.
Yeah.
Anybody, you know, whatever. But we have the ability, because we are imaginative beings, God made us as creators. Mm-hmm. We have the ability to halt where we are and choose, let me focus over here. Let me allow myself to be safe. And then I often end it with, now what do you notice about your body when you feel safe? Mm-hmm. And just, they can report back.
Yeah.
And I just encourage people to use that as a tool to bring rest and peace back to themselves.
And it works.
And it works.
I feel different.
Yes.
Like right here, talking to you, going through that, I feel different. And I can see how if I get in a spicy situation where I feel like my anxiety is rising to my chest or my chin,
yes,
I maybe could hear your voice.
Yeah.
Or I could picture that place.
Yeah.
I love that.
Good. I'm glad.
That is so helpful.
It is. It really, like, I had no idea that I could interrupt my thoughts previous in my life.
How powerful mindfulness is.
Yes.
And just the power of the brain.
I know.
Like God equipped us
so, yes,
to think correctly.
Yeah.
Or to correct our thoughts.
That's right.
Because, you know, our thoughts aren't saved.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
They
and
aren't.
Part of mindfulness is separating what's actually me. What do I actually align with? And what are these thoughts that are not actually mine?
Right.
And so that's an important part of, I can let that go. I can let that pass through. I don't need to hold on to that.
Or it's not even true.
Right. It's not even true. I'm not stupid.
You are not
I'm
stupid.
I'm not lazy. I'm not whatever. You know, it's like, these are thoughts that are in there for whatever reason, and I don't have to obey them.
Yes.
So.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for leading us through that. Yeah. And I hope everyone listening can come back and actually experience, walk through this teaching, this leading in using your breath and mindfulness to go from chaos to calm.
Yeah.
That brings us to the end of this episode. Please check out the show notes for tools you can use to navigate the ups and downs in your life. As always, thanks for listening to the Healing Her podcast. If you enjoy our show, please subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. And be sure to come back next week for more healing conversations. You can also follow along on Instagram and Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. This podcast was created by Donna and Christi Vandervoort. It was produced and recorded by Monty Godike.